what is happening with respect to the temperatures in the country, because it's a heat wave which has been gripping the minds of people. And remember, heat waves usually brings to mind parched throats, sweaty skin, frequent power cuts, and even the heat strokes. This summer, it is also bringing in a supply crunch for a lot of key products that help take the heat off. Reports suggest that there is a 5 to 7 days of waiting for delivery of a new air conditioner. Several popular packs of top-selling soft drinks are sold out, and even some of the fast-selling flavors like chocolate or butterscotch are not easily available in several markets of the East, Central India, as well as Punjab and Haryana, which are in the grip of a scorching heat wave. With that backdrop, let's welcome the guest on the show to discuss the implications of the emerging trends. We have with us Mr. B. Thiagarajan. He's the MD at Blue Star, and Mr. Mohit Khattar joins us. He's the CEO at Graviss Food for Baskin Robbins as well. Mr. Thiagarajan, hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for making time and speaking with us. And thank you to Mr. Piruz Khambatta as well as Mohit Khattar as well. Mr. Thiagarajan, let me first come to you and discuss the demand momentum on the ground. What is the footfall and sales like in the last few weeks, and is it on expected lines? Is it better? Is it weaker than what you expected?
Thank you for having me in your show. The demand has picked up extremely well in the past 2 weeks. In March, there were rains and some pockets it was not moving. But in the past couple of weeks, there is excellent demand, specifically in South and West. North began to pick up, and I think day for yesterday, it rained, and I think it will also come back. For air conditioner manufacturers, this is like Diwali season for us. But in fact, even deep freezer market is doing extremely well. And what you just mentioned is true, that we are being chased for faster deliveries across various locations, which we are coping up with.
Okay, so that's the take coming in, demand picking up over the last 2 weeks. Mr. Khambatta, would you agree with that analysis as well? What kind of demand momentum you are seeing on the ground, and especially with respect to the raw material prices as well? What have you done to the recent pricing? Have you taken some price hikes, etc.?
The first question is, we are a little bit more planned. So we had anticipated demand. So we had kept in almost all the depots, we had kept ample stocks. And luckily, we have a slightly higher shelf life than regular soft drinks. So it is possible. So we are running out of 1 or 2 SKUs, but actually that is good also, because that means there's demand in the market is getting fresher products. So that way we don't have too much of a problem, except a few SKUs in 1 or 2 depots. Now, coming to the raw material prices are definitely better off than last year. But recently, once again, sugar prices are higher. And as you know, the fruit prices have been higher, and we as a company policy have always been given a higher price for the fruit, because we believe in the government story of doubling the farmer's income. So I always have farmer contracts which are obviously in farmer's flavor. So I have always been ensuring that the farmers get always a higher crop than say last year or something. So the cost of fruit for us is quite high. Cost of sugar, as I have told you, slightly increased, but the packing material is slightly down. Fuel has slightly down than last year, so the cost of freight has gone down. So overall, we expect a robust growth of almost double-digit this year over 18-19, which is the COVID years. If you see over the before COVID years, if you see COVID years, we are almost doing double, and we expect that this momentum is to continue till June, because everybody is predicting a very hot summer, and we can see right now also there is a very hot summer. So I'm quite bullish that this has happened. But let me tell you, there was a little bit talk on the rural markets not booming and all that. In our case, that is not the case. In fact, we are getting huge demand from the rural and the small towns, and that also I think is not only for the smaller packs where we expected say 1 rupee, 2 rupee. We are getting huge demand from small towns for 100 rupee packs also. And I think that is the very big difference, that after COVID, I have seen that people want to spend on better quality food. And if they see a product with more vitamins, more fruit, more health, even the poor seem to be, or what I not say poor, but low middle class seem to be buying those products even in the smaller towns. So we are seeing a boom for these type of products also.
What you're saying is a bit different from what we are hearing from other players. You're talking about an up trading rather than down trading.
Yes. And that is exactly, I know, because I also read and I see a lot of your reports. So in my case, it is different. And I think the reason for it, I already gave you, that people want to eat better. And I think in your own families, like people, if they are talking of a health drink, they are moving to product which has more protein. In my category, I have introduced a product which is 100% natural, no artificial colors, flavors. It is moving. We have the product which we have taken, which is our international pack, which is basically a pack which we sell in probably the Middle East and Europe and all that. That we have introduced in India. International pack is selling. People want more. Not that the 1 rupee and 2 rupees is not selling. I'm not even saying that. I am saying these packs are also selling in areas we didn't expect it to sell. We expected them to sell in e-com and modern trade, but they are selling in the other areas also, which in my mind is very good, and it is part of our strategy that Rasna is for everybody and we should reach to every player, and it helps us because all the said and done, if people buy more SKUs, overall consumption increases to that extent. And rural demand also actually has picked up in a very, very positive manner. And I do believe there's one more thing also happening. There's a lot of negatives for basically certain types of drinks. I will not name them. And I think products like us, which have more fruits and vitamins and minerals, are being preferred over those products on health grounds also. And I think, which is the truth also, that basically we are what I call good nutrition. We are good refreshment and nutrition refreshment. So I think that story or that message has reached across to all the people. And in our advertising and marketing also, we have fully made people aware of the fact that Rasna is not only fun, Rasna is not only taste, Rasna is health. And I think that seems to be giving the dividends which we always require or needed, to put it that way.
Okay. Mr. Thiagarajan, my next question would be to you, and that is on, you're saying that the demand looks pretty much good, but what we are hearing from our channel checks is that demand has actually jumped 50%. Could you firstly confirm that? And secondly, how is the competitive scenario? Because recently we heard that one of your larger peers had taken a big significant price cut this summer. So if you could give us some understanding on that front as well.
Thank you for your question. You know, in a particular week, in a particular market, 50% jump, 100% jump, it has got no meaning at all. You have to look at what is likely to happen in the summer season. If I am taking March to June, my assessment is overall it will be somewhere around 25% growth. You know, the weekly and all, it will not matter at all. Now, the market, my estimate in FY23 was 8 million units. My overall assessment for FY24, taking into consideration penetration levels and how the prices are moving, what is the manufacturing capacity, competitive landscape, my estimate is it will move to 10 million numbers. So that landmark 10 million market size is going to happen in this financial year. Now, as far as the prices are concerned, we have not increased the prices. You have seen last 5 quarters, we have outperformed the market every quarter. We are lower in terms of margin percentage compared with the pre-COVID period by around 150 basis points. And we thought that when the commodity prices have come down, we will be in a position to improve our margins, but unfortunately the exchange rate is not favorable. And you can go ahead and look at a price increase only in case the competitive intensity is going to reduce. The PLI scheme has attracted huge manufacturing capacity expansion. In FY24 alone, the capacity is going to double. Of course, the market will grow, and I do not think that there is room for us to increase the prices. We are maintaining the prices, and we are still holding on and improving our market share. And the Sri City factory that has come up under Blue Star Climatic Limited, it gives us some advantage in terms of logistics, both inward and outward, and serving the southern region market, which is around 45% of the market. Therefore, we will be able to manage our margins and get back to our pre-COVID levels within 12 months' time. But we are not playing that game of cutting the prices to buy a market share at this moment.
Let's also get in Mr. Khattar on this conversation. And so, Mr. Khattar, how are ice cream sales appearing to be? Is the demand increasing? If you could give us some idea of what is the kind of growth that you're expecting this summer season?
See, in general, the summer season is always music to the ears for the ice cream industry. And the first couple of months of the year, let's say, starting from March onwards, can contribute, from March until June pretty much, which is the peak summer season in the country. I mean, that can contribute up to a 40% of annual sales. So I don't think this year is any different. The year started off very well in February, where February itself saw intense heat across the country. March was kind of subdued and, to be honest, a little subpar. I think there were bouts of rain and there were, spells of not so hot weather almost across different regions. And March was therefore very, very underwhelming. April, fortunately, has taken off on a very, very steady note. Heat has been rising across the country. And, as the heat rises, what can be more satisfying and fulfilling and cooling as an ice cream? So sales are doing pretty well, almost across all regions in the country. And that, as I said, is music to the ears.
Music to your ears, but not to ours, given the fact temperatures have already soared to a 38-degree, here in Mumbai itself. But Mr. Khattar, your business managed to grow by around 37% in the year gone by. Do you think 30% growth rate is going to be sustainable in FY24 as well?
The growth obviously has been very, very good in the last 2 years. Whether the growth will sustain or not, only time will tell. But as far as we are concerned, we are extremely well prepared in terms of, continuing on the same trajectory. Products that the company is focused on bringing to the market. Our network is expanding. We are growing our parlors. We are growing our network in terms of general trade stores, modern trade stores, and even online platforms. So as an entity, we are obviously focused on growing the business. I personally feel that this year may not be as robust as the previous year. However, growth rates will continue to be in the high double digits and obviously higher than the industry as we see it now. Whether it will happen every month, not sure. Because the last year, first quarter was extremely robust. So whether we will see a 35% growth in the first quarter itself, I'm not so sure. But I do think that the way the sales are picking up at this point of time, we have every reason to feel extremely confident going forward.
And Mr. Thiagarajan, as we were just getting this information from our channel check, is that there is a lot of waiting time when it comes to AC delivery. So how is Blue Star as a company addressing this issue? Are you looking to increase your production? How is the inventory level at dealers?
In our case, it is adequate. Overall, if you talk about the year, we will be aiming close to 1 million. I told you the 10 million will be the landmark for the year. 1 million will be our share in that in terms of volume. A value share of ours will be higher. Now, 6 lakh units will be coming from Himachal plant. Sri City will be delivering around 3 lakh units. And 1 lakh units are outsourced, basically window air conditioners. As we speak now, all the markets have the required products. If there is a delay, as Mr. Khattar mentioned, the ice cream industry, there is huge rush for deep freezers. There may be 2 or 3 days of delays over and above what was already bought. Ice cream industry buys ahead of the summer. But now suddenly further demand is taking place. Otherwise, I don't see any shortage whatsoever at all. And I don't think at the same time we have some huge inventory pileup. Thanks to the pain we all have undergone in the past 2-3 years, we have learned to manage the supply chain very well.
The heat wave has been on for the last 2-3 years as well, and we have seen the temperatures soaring thanks to climate change as well. But Mr. Khambatta, just before I let you go, the competition in the sector is also heating up, right? Yes, the market size itself is increasing, but you also had Reliance recently, buying some of the brands as well. Plus, there is increased competition. Is that impacting your market share, or do you need to spend more on your advertising, etc.?
So Rasna is concerned, we are in a unique position, and there are case studies written about this in almost all institutes. We as an Indian company are the only company with a majority market share. Some people say 70, some people say 90, but that is the number. While all Indian companies against competition would have something like 10, 20, 30, and they are mostly minority. Nobody has a major market share. And all my life, I have heard that XYZ will come and they will dominate the market, but it has not happened. The biggest companies have tried to dominate our market, and now some retail brands would try. But honestly speaking, we are a very focused company. As far as the powder concentrate category is concerned, we have invented categories. We are always one up competition, be it R&D, like say I just mentioned, natural colors, natural flavors, be it packaging, eco-friendly packaging, be it the marketing strategies in television. Mostly my ads are copied by competition. My ads are copied abroad also, forget India. Be it distribution strategies, we had a unique hub and spoke model so that other people copied. So I always believe that we are way ahead in terms of the leadership, in terms of the strategy, the execution. Our people are focused. So I think if you ask me, competition will only help us grow the market. And in a bigger market, I will have a bigger pie. So in fact, I welcome more and more competition. And I think it will help.
Sure, Mr. Khambatta, take your point as well as Mr. Thiagarajan and Mr. Khattar. Thank you so much for making time and making this an holistic discussion because the heat wave is definitely there. The temperatures are soaring, but so is the demand for all of these products as well. On that note, we are slipping into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll discuss a lot more stock-specific action.